So the last part of the bottom handle is pretty straightforward, and it's in this section right here where it says sliced tab. If you look at the actual image of the fire extinguisher, you can see, and this is actually probably from the manufacturing process, where when they cut this once this piece of metal is bent and cut, it's probably goes and hits a shear, which slices it, and then it just pops out and bends out, and it leaves this little deformation, which they probably just bend to get rid of any kind of sharp edge or whatever. So there's like a little section kind of removed this way and a section removed this way. And in order to create that, again, you can go back and you can look and see what I said here, which was I kind of gave a dimension to say leave 0.815 inches between here and here. And then I also gave a recommendation for a fillet between a radius of 0.05 and 0.1, which you can kind of avoid if you do it the way that I'm going to show it right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab my bottom handle, and I'm just going to go ahead and I don't need this. I don't need both of them. And I don't need these either. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this upward. Just do a 3D rotate. For some reason, my object snaps don't seem like they're on. Now they are. Okay. And I'm going to flip it upwards 90 degrees. Now I'm just going to go to a top view. So what I did is I'm going to go take a circle, and again, that 0.815 number, if I went circle, diameter, and let's see, circle, diameter, circle, diameter, 0.815. This is what I was kind of showing, is that the space between here and here is that 0.815. So that would be left over to give you a visual. But I really don't care too much about it. Again, this is just to be a little bit more visually accurate. So what I'm going to do is draw a circle, and I'm going to draw it kind of right on this point right here. I'm not going to go so big that I'm cutting into the kind of wall of the fire extinguisher. I'm just going to go about like that, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it at that same point. Okay, so now these should be sitting there right at the bottom of my that little kicked down portion, and I'm going to just extrude these upward, and then I'm just going to use my subtract tool, click the handle, select, and punch those right out. Okay. Unfortunately, those had to move down a little bit. This is why I kind of never trust it fully. A lot of times I like to just nudge this stuff down just a tick, and then subtract, right click, and whatever. And that looks pretty good, like so. Okay. I could have probably nudged them a little bit further forward, but the realism part of this will come in when you do a fillet. So I'll go fillet, radius 0.025, I think was what I did in my little bit earlier. Right click enter, and that looks pretty good right there. Okay, so do a fillet of radius 0.025. Okay, when you include that, you can see just like that starts really looking. By the time when I put an actual texture on this, it'll look real good when it's all done. Up here on this end, where the handle's done, I will not do any kind of filleting on this until it's completely assembled. Once it's all assembled on the tank and everything else, I'll come along and I'll do edge fillets and things at that point, just because it's a lot easier to do it when it's all said and done. So that's it. bottom handle done, and I think the next thing to come back to is now the parts are starting to get smaller. So possibly a gauge next, or possibly a I think I'll do a gauge possibly next.